Chapter 1 Introduction to Cognitive Biases. Ever wondered why sometimes your mind takes shortcuts leading to flawed decisions or judgment calls? Cognitive biases, deeply ingrained mental filters created by our brain to manage information overload, could be the answer. These biases often lead us astray from objectivity and rationality, affecting our perceptions and decision-making. Chapter 2 Confirmation Bias. First, the confirmation bias. This bias has us favoring information that confirms our existing beliefs or values. We tend to seek, interpret, and remember information that matches our preconceived notions, while conveniently ignoring the rest. It's like having blinkers on, where we see only what we want to see. Chapter 3 Hindsight Bias. Next, we have the hindsight bias. It's a tendency to believe, after an event has occurred, that we predicted or expected it all along. It's often referred to as the knew it all along effect. It tends to make us overestimate our ability to predict events, leading to overconfidence in our predictive abilities. Chapter 4 Availability Heuristic. The third in line is the availability heuristic. This is a mental shortcut that relies on immediate examples that come to mind. When evaluating a specific topic, concept, method, or decision, we overvalue information that we can recall quickly and underestimate information that is less available or less vivid. Chapter 5 Anchoring Bias. Fourth, we have the anchoring bias. It's our tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information we encounter, the anchor. When making decisions, we interpret newer information from the perspective of our anchor, which can skew our judgment. Chapter 6 Self-serving Bias. The fifth bias is the self-serving bias. We all like to see ourselves in a positive light. This bias leads us to credit our successes to our own abilities and efforts, while blaming failures on external factors. It's a defense mechanism that preserves our self-esteem. Chapter 7 Bandwagon Effect. Lastly, we have the bandwagon effect, the psychological phenomenon where people do something primarily because others are doing it, regardless of their own beliefs. This bias is powerful, often leading to herd behavior. Chapter 8 Summary and Conclusion. In summary, cognitive biases are mental shortcuts or filters that our brain uses to simplify the processing of information. They are an integral part of human cognition, yet they can lead us astray, causing us to make flawed decisions or judgments. We've covered 6 common biases today: the confirmation bias, hindsight bias, availability heuristic, anchoring bias, self-serving bias, and the bandwagon effect. Understanding these biases and being aware of their influence can help us make more rational and objective decisions. It's a fascinating journey into the workings of the human mind, a journey that reveals the subtle forces that shape our perceptions, beliefs, and decisions. Remember, the first step towards overcoming these biases is recognizing them.